So working at Nash isn't really your sort of everyday job. It's different every day. Some days are longer than others, and sometimes we have to put in a lot of hours, and it can be really hard work and really tiring, but some weeks are a lot better than others.
The second Nash team social was due to be held at the Carp Centre Lake Complex in Austria, following an invite to visit from the owner of Carp Centre, Harry Reckberger.
This trip kind of stemmed from a trip when Harry, the owner of Carp Centre, visited England and fished one of Kevin's amazing lakes, the Cops Lake. At the time he caught the largest carp in the Cops, and that photo still hangs pride of place in his shop today. And it was that visit to England that inspired Harry to go and create his own special lakes himself.
So Harry is thinking, I think, that he should give something back. Also, big fish, standing together with one big fish, you know. 20 years later, that will be the biggest present you will ever get the last 20 years. Yeah, really. All the time he's looking at those pictures with Kevin every day. So, see, me and Kevin Nash. Big mirror from UK, you know. It was very fun.
Due to the long journey to Austria, it was decided that Ollie and Carl would take the van out there with all the gear and the rest of us would fly. Kevin and I were going to go a day earlier. Kevin wasn't actually fishing on this trip as he had lots of work to do over there. He wanted to spend some time with Claudia and Harry, catch up with the Austrian team.
Should an incident be detected in your carriage, the following alarm will sound.
Well, here we are, we're on the tunnel, Carl and I. We've drawn the short straw, we're driving, so the sat-nav's saying 6:32 in the morning we're getting there.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Thank you for your attention.
The drive was long, like really, really long. I think the drive took us just over 17 hours in the end, which was a good run to be honest, you know, driving through the night, taking turns behind the wheel, and it wasn't long before it was just getting light and we were arriving in Austria. Carp Centre. We arrived at the fishery in Austria probably about 9 o'clock in the morning, and first things first, obviously Ollie got his bed out, lay down to catch up on some much needed sleep. I, on the other hand, spotted some bass in the margins, run back to the van, grabbed my lure rod and set about trying to catch one. Just spied a couple more bass. Yes! Finally! He's decent as well. Ah yes! That is absolutely flipping incredible.
Is that Tom from Life at Nash?
Cameraman.
The taxi has arrived. Can we have him in the back?
Never been on a plane, Les?
No, never. Never flown before.
What's your target for the week, Les?
48 beers, 3 bottles of wine, bottle of vodka. Looking about Tuesday, Wednesday, if I might sleep the rest of the week. What's my target?
Yeah.
Having fun, mate.
That's it.
Good answer, Les.
Having fun. With my mates.
Well, here we are, we're at Stansted Airport. There's 6 of us flying out today. We're going to have a quick burger and a beer, and we're going to get on our way. Head for Austria.
The social too.
The social too.
Social too.
Social too.
The social too.
Hello,
it's me. Famous boy.
Paparazzi.
So Les, who you obviously know from the first social, had never actually been on a plane before, and it was his first experience of getting on an aeroplane going onto the social too. And I don't know if he was actually scared, but we was winding him up and we did put a camera in his face and sort of give him a bit of banter, but he dealt with it all right and he got to Austria fine.
A little bit of nervousness. Through security all right for the first time. First experience on a plane. The girls look all right. Come on, go on, you're right. All right.
That evening, a couple of local anglers, a couple of Austrian guys turned up in my swim. Whilst I was having a laugh with these newfound friends, Ollie had actually gone down to the opposite end of the fishery. I was on R1, he'd gone down to R3, and he was just getting set up, ready for the night ahead.
It's good air, really good air. It's wet air and cold. We arrived really late in Austria. I think it was about 11, half 11 at night. Our sales rep, Austrian sales rep Arno, kindly came and picked us up and took us to the lake. We got to the lake about midnight. She got to the lake, all got our bed chairs out the back of the van, got our heads down for the night to wake up in the morning to find out that Cole and Ollie had actually had some bites.
What are you saying, Al?
Saying it's social. Let's go get you boys one.
Or two.
Or three. Carl.
We got up, had a cup of tea, done a lap of the lake and we decided on swims. So Max, Les, Matt and Cole decided to fish R1. There's quite a big head of carp in there, but there was also a lot of bass and zander, and I know that would have been one of the main reasons why Cole and Matt would have wanted to fish there. Alan went for R2 because I know it would have been a bit of a challenge and he wanted to get his head stuck into some ink. And that left me, Tom, Dan and Ollie to fish on R3. We was told by the owner there's a lot of big carp in there, quite a big head of carp as well, some big catfish, and there was a chance for a real big haul, so we opted to fish there. Yeah, unloading the van, it was a task in itself, to be fair. We packed it the weekend before we went, and when I say you couldn't get anything else on that van, you could not get anything else on that van. It was brimmed to the max.
It was brilliant though to see that, you know, Mikey had managed to fit in the absolute essentials, very important bits of kit for his fishing.
There he is!
If I've ever seen an edge before in my life.
What is that for?
This is
an edge.
the lucky log.
And we brought it with us in
Come
the
all the
van.
way from Talat's. Been in the office for 2 years.
I'm not entirely sure why Mikey had to bring his lucky plank of wood, but apparently it brought him luck at the Teliat social, so fair play to the guy, and I kind of deep down really hope that we'd all share a bit of luck throughout the week. I mean, it's always a worry on a social or a group trip like this that, you know, someone wouldn't catch, someone would go home empty-handed, but seeing as I'd caught 2 fish already, thank goodness it wasn't going to be me this time.
So yeah, this is Max. Longest session he's ever done was 3 nights. About to begin a week-long session in Austria, and he's doing all of this time under a Recon brolly. Now, there's nothing wrong with the brolly at all, apart from the fact that they're perfect for a quick overnighter when you've got very little tackle with you.
Yeah, I'll be alright. I think I'm going to enjoy it, to be honest, because if I need to move, I can, can't I, and all that sort of thing.
Just going to go in the TARDIS, double top, double the money. No, you get double for your money.
Double for your money.
Double for your money.
Careful.
Sorry, double for your money.
Plenty of time, man.
Plenty of time.
Worst thing you can do is throw loads of bait everywhere. I think, personally.
Is that Mike over there throwing loads of bait?
Keeps pinging off its fins. Let's have a look at you. Yeah, so I'd literally dropped that bait, what, 5 minutes ago then?
Something like that, can't be more than.
No, it's looking quite big when I see a glimpse of the water.
Go on now. Get in there, boy!
That's a nice one, little starburst scales on the back of it. That'll do, lovely time. Chunky? Yeah, just about 30 pounder I think.
It's raining. Really quite heavily.
I think we might be putting him in the retainer.
Yeah.
Throwing the cameras in the back of the van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll wait until the rain stops to photograph this one.
Just as Ollie lifted up his mirror to the camera, the rain began. Rain which very quickly became snow, and snow which very quickly became ridiculously heavy hail.
Hi Alan.
Hi Carl.
This is nice.
It's amazing. I got caught in the middle of the thunderstorm and the lightning storm out of my little boat. I was petrified, so I rowed to shore, and now I'm going to get beer, because that seems to be the solution to all problems.
The order of the day.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
It is Christmas and carp fishing all come at once. Look at that. Just got out the van and Wilson is playing one. In the snow in Austria. This is mental. I love fishing. I love fishing. What? We can make a snowman. We can make a snow.
Slush puppy.
Oh.
Son, first blood of that. Setting up, it was really hot. I think it was over 20 degrees maybe. I was sweating putting up my bivvy. It was really nice and mild. And yeah, got the rods out, big load of cloud come over, and we had a snowstorm. We literally had a snowstorm.
We have a big fat mirror. 37.4.
37.4?
Yep.
That'll do, Baz. Literally got all three rods sorted properly on the spots, got into the bivvy, had a little tidy up because it was absolute carnage. And yeah, the heavens, saw a bit of lightning, followed by thunder, and then an absolute mental snowstorm, and in the middle of it, the long rod absolutely ripped off. 37.5 pounds off the mark, first blood, my first offshoring carp. Buzzing.
That'll do, son.
That'll do, mate.
Right. Go on, just have it up again.
Go on, Willie!
Did you not see me on the platform? Like,
I wouldn't open my door, mate. Why would I open my door in that?
get it on, mate.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
You just can't have much more crazy conditions than what we just experienced.
We've just had the most intense hailstorm. They fight really hard, these fish. It's hard to tell whether they're really big or not, but I'd say this one's around about the 30 pound mark, but it really gave me a good scrap.
So I've been here just over 24 hours now. This is the R2 gravel pit. It's part of the Carp Centre Fishery Complex. I'm fishing probably the trickiest lake on the complex, but it's definitely got the biggest fish inside. There's a stock of around 60 fish with more than a few over 20 kilos and a good smattering of 30 kilo carp with a couple, I can't even believe I'm saying this, around 40 kilos. Truly enormous carp. So yeah, I've got a challenging sort of session ahead of me. It's not going to be easy. The weather's taken a real big dip for the worse over the next few days. But I'm staying positive. I'm fishing for massive carp. Please let me hook into one of these true monsters.
That's another really quick bite. Dropped a bait and just 2 scoops of 10 mils Tiger Nut Slush and good old TG. Well, the biggest so far for me. About 10 minutes it took.
So yeah, the first day was really only sort of half a day's fishing, and at the end of the day I think between us over the 3 lakes we'd had a total of 6 fish, averaging around 30 pounds. We was all full of confidence and yeah, really excited to have a really good week.
So yeah, I'd found a silty spot in the middle of the lake on David from Carp Centre's advice. Just a basics, bog standard rig. Had the bite the first morning that we'd fished. So we arrived on Monday night and I had the bite on the Tuesday morning. And yeah, scrapped super hard. In fact, we kind of questioned whether it was a catfish. There's a fair bit of depth of water out here and it was real battle for about 40 minutes.
I had 2 hours sleep last night.
It's probably gone down the margin, hasn't it?
Screamed off into the middle of the lake, literally couldn't stop it. Then kited round 2 swims down, managed to pick up a marker from the lake previously in the lake and wiped out all 3 of poor Max's rods. That was just what he needed. He actually had to re-spool a reel.
We're going to have quite a good untangling process on our cards, I think.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, he's in already, look. He's massive. Oh my god. But I don't know whether you can see that, but that is next level, man. Look, that's a 40 pounder, it's got to be.
When it eventually we got it in the net, we were all buzzing because we could see it was a big fish. We were thinking maybe high 40s, but then yeah, tipped the scales around to 54.4, which is a PB for me and the biggest of the trips so far. So I'm really buzzing.
There's only one Les Webster. Thank
What's all about today?
You what?
Who's caught fish? What?
What?
Morning.
Here we are, morning.
Well, we're just about to see a chunk.
It is so big.
Have you weighed it?
54 foot.
Oh, brilliant.
Go on then. Yeah.
It's not a scorpion fish now, that's why I can't hold it in the palm of your hand.
Isn't this your first carp for about a year, man?
Yep.
Worth waiting for.
After we'd seen and photographed Matt's incredible 50 pounder, Les was next port of call as he'd also been getting in on the action.
Just get
Yeah, we're just coming for a little tour of Les, who lives in a house like this? Let's take a look at the evidence.
You know, didn't you?
Let's have a little tour of your house, Les.
Yeah, come in by all means. Here we have the living accommodation.
Very nice, very nice. So what you got there? That's your moon chair.
Yep.
What's that, the boudoir at the back?
Yeah, the bedroom's in the back. And
oh, I won't look around the corners because you just don't know quite what you might find.
Yeah.
But it's looking really nice, Les.
Yeah. Safe.
Safe.
Bang on.
Lovely there.
Well done, mate. I'm filming, by the way, it's not a photo.
Thanks, mate.
Well done.
Thank you. So last night I realised that they'd all gone home in the cement works behind, and I crept over there. I see that there was a lake in there. So I had a little hacksaw, sawed the padlock off, crept in there with the old sawn off, flicked the mixer out when it went all nice and calm, and guess what? I had this old beauty here.
Beautiful, this.
At the cement works.
No, this is Les Banks.
Les Banks. Come on now. Come on now, get a picture with me.
Yay.
Well done, mate.
Thank
Good
you.
angling.
Thank you.
Really nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one, man.
So hi everyone, here we are in Austria. Yesterday I set up. Today I've been down the shop. I had a couple of 30s in the night. Well, lovely place.
So down on R3, I'd managed to bank myself a couple of awesome commons, whilst Ollie also managed an even bigger one. Scrapped, mate. Well happy. One of two.
Wicked.
Squid squad.
Pick up the squid squad.
Number 5, man.
Come on, the back.
Oh god, nailed it out.
43.
43 and a
I know! Still not 20 kilos!
Oh, man! The next one will be on, man.
Cultured hook bait. They're surviving the attention of the craze long enough to get bites. And this is number 5, I think, or 6. But the biggest one. And getting closer to a 20 kilo Austrian carp.
Ollie's 40-pound common was incredible. You know, that's exactly the sort of fish that we'd travelled out to Austria to try and catch. Although we did have to remind Ollie that it was a carp and not a guitar. Next up was Dan, and to be honest, this fish probably wouldn't make the final cut of the video if it wasn't for the fact that he blanked for the following 5 days. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, it's just a little mirror.
Off the mark. My first Austrian 50.
Nailed. Okay, mate. Nailed.
50 pounds and how many ounces, Dan?
Hi, just been told by Kevin there might be a bit of a flea market come boot fair up the road. I'm always up for a bargain, let's go and have a look. Well, hi, I got here, but I think I'm a bit late. The one I got here, they'd all gone home. But you gotta give it a go, have a little look, see what it's all about. I'm gonna go up to the shops now. Ta-ra for now.
That'd be a bite, Will.
Looks like you're in.
Before we went, we was aware there was a lot of catfish in the water, so I knew these were probably going to be a nuisance at some point and we was going to catch them, but I tried my hardest to stay away from them, from applying big beds of bait and pellets and things like that. But yeah, I caught a few. A couple of times I thought there was a real big carp on the end, but I'd never actually caught a proper catfish before this trip, so it was a new experience for me to actually play a catfish and feel the real power of them, and it was good fun, but when you're fishing for carp, they don't count.
What, mate?
60 pound.
Very good.
Yeah, put him back.
Goodbye, mate.
Oh well. Can't let him go. Nice one, Wilson, that was entertaining.
That was good.
That evening, a group of us got together over at Les's bivvy, which was absolutely giant, by the way. I think it managed to house 7 of us with room to spare. And yeah, we chilled out, had a bite to eat and a nice drink that evening, but not before I managed to get one last bite to round up that day.
We've got a bite!
Well done, boy.
I don't know, I didn't think we were going to get another bite. When the weather turned horrible, it just didn't look too good on this day.
Oh, it's a banger. That side, mate, is absolutely immaculate.
It's mint, isn't it? It's just... Whoa.
We're like, the weather is horrendous. So we thought, let's not bother putting rods out. Let's all come round to Les's monster of a bivvy and we'll have a gourmet meal. And we're in for steak. Steak, Austrian beef.
We hope.
We hope. It could be anything.
So the morning of day 3, we woke up and it was freezing. The temperatures were probably well below 0. We'd expected to go away and have nice sunny weather, be nice and warm, but it didn't really matter because the carp was still up for a month and we was getting plenty of bites.
Cheers, boys. Nice wake up call.
Due to the cold weather, R1 wasn't really fishing, and I think that was mainly down to the fact that it was really deep compared to R3. But yeah, we was hauling them on R3. We was doing really well. We was getting lots of bites, and the action was awesome.
That is 7-8.
That'll do.
It's a bit cold out there.
Yeah, a little bit cold.
Oh right, what you got there, Les?
Oh, but I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of bran, it kept me warm. But the only thing, it's Waitrose bran, so it's all right.
When did you open that, Les?
About 3 minutes ago. Yeah, man.
Well, the move has paid off. It wasn't really happening over where I was fishing. I couldn't sit there any longer. So Ollie and Mikey kindly let me slot in between them where most of the activity was happening, and wanged a few singles out there. Managed to bag a couple.
Hello, Al. That been out 3 minutes? Yeah.
Well, it's been a remarkably challenging start of the trip. In fact, that was my first take and it fell off. but I'm staying positive. Got the bite very, very quickly. Doing anything out there in the boat over the last sort of 24 hours has been nigh on impossible unless you're right on the back of the wind. So Marco come down from Carp Centre and he's given me a hand for the last sort of half hour, 45 minutes. That was only the sort of second rod we put out, and it almost went immediately. And it's purely down to finding the fish, you know, like in any form of angling. If you can find them, then in many instances you can get the bite quickly. And we did just that. We used an underwater camera, drifted across a very barren, sort of bland looking lake until we found coloured water next to a large area of stones, and yeah, lowered the rig down. And yeah, as I say, 3-minute bite. So I'm going to go back out there now, not put a lot of bait out, a little bit of tiger nut, a little bit of flake, candy nut crush flake, and see if I can't get another fish, get my first R2 Austrian carp.
Midday came around and it was time to head to the local shop as we needed to grab some supplies, and I seem to remember Dan wanted to grab a few beers as well.
Definitely got everything we need.
I don't even drink.
Is that all for you?
This is for a friend.
Oh, hello, good to see you there. It's just gone 1, so that's the end of the day for us in the media team.
On a late one today?
Huh?
On a late one today?
Yeah, long hours in this media team. Usually we try and start about 11 and get done by about 1, so once that's done, cup of tea, you sit in the boat, lie in the sun. I think I've earned this little sunbathe.
Hold it out more. 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 Oh, it's massive.
Oh, fantastic, really good time. The weather's brightened up a little bit now. So the lads are going to get all their rods out, have a bit of lunch, chill out. It's all about social.
Safe. Got there before you, Les.
And here we have the wild Max Hendry.
You can get a photo. Oh, he's moving.
In all his glory.
Move number 3.
He's moving for the 3rd time in 3 days.
And he's trying to impress the local ladies.
Yeah, I haven't seen any local ladies actually. Maybe he's trying to impress us.
with his local, with his dress sense.
I love a man in Wade.
So 3 days into the session and I've still not managed to catch one myself. I'd worked so incredibly hard, the weather had been all over the place and all I had to show for it was one lost carp. At times like this you can feel really low and almost depressed about the situation, but you've got to pick yourself back up, keep working, keep working. I knew full well there was some really special carp in there to be caught.
And we're going again.
I can't feel anything.
Having lost my previous fish and now out in the boat getting dragged around the lake, I really didn't want to lose this fish. I could tell it was a big fish, big lunges, big boils coming up, vortexes. I just didn't want to lose this one.
Thank you, bruv. I couldn't, people say this sometimes, they've got a lot in England, I couldn't have done it without you, I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't, maybe now, no problem with the wind, but earlier on when you first offered, it was too windy. So thank you. Yep. Thank you. Mega exciting.
Yeah. Look at that, that's cray food, mate.
What, the orange?
Yeah,
that's what I was like.
Great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they have got that soon. All got that orange. Oh. $52.12.
Well, that was full of excitement. Literally crazy battle. I was just out in the boat, ripped off. Huge fight. Yeah, Marco's had to disappear, but huge thank you to Marco, helping me in the boat in all the wind. Yeah, buzzing.
Hi, Carl.
There's rather huge.
He just like that running, left that running for the sunset.
For the Phoebe sun goes down track,
perfect.
like.
So as we was in Austria, it was only right the Austrian team come down for a night and we had a social, a pizza and a few beers.
I've been to Austria 3 times and all he asked about is you.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, cool.
When are you going to come to England with me? We go raving.
We go raving.
Little DVD.
Yeah. Should we watch on DVD? Only a short DVD.
I mean, all I've been doing really is watching DVDs. DVDs, there's a little munch down there.
But I think you have a lot of munch in your baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I'm your biggest fan.
A couple of lads stayed the night and the next morning me and Flo, one of the Austrian guys, had a brace of 20 kilo carp and yeah, it was pretty special.
One more. Yeah.
No, it's a 50, but can't someone call this?
What, PB or not?
Well, PV's £50 too. That's £50 too, isn't it?
Nah.
£50
one.
£50 eight.
Is that £50 eight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're two. Yeah, they're 2 ounce.
£50 eight.
Yeah! Go on, Wilson.
Yeah, man.
Just move yourselves in a little bit, boys. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Look at each other's eyes.
Okay, wicked.
Hey!
3.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
You alright, mate?
Hello, Les.
You alright?
You?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Did you catch any fish?
Nah, it's a bit slow, a bit cold, wasn't it? It's slow, a bit cold last night. Apart from that, everything's alright. What are you up to?
Can't see you, mate.
I'm just chilling for a while.
It's day 5 now, early in the morning, and I get a phone call from Max. He's got a few fish going in the swim. There's fizzers, bubblers, and a couple in the net, including one really special orange koi.
This is fun. Morning, Max.
How's it going?
I'm alright, you?
Yeah, man. It's all turned around now, mate.
Happy you moved, at last.
Yeah.
Good
so,
work,
well
mate.
worth the effort, man. So, yeah, I'm really happy. Fuck. Oh, it was a silent one. I've never been so shocked to see something bright orange pop up like and just out in the margin.
What do we have here? Oh my god, it's overexposed my shot. It's too bright.
Well, 3 moves and finally got on some fish and yeah, made it happen and caught this absolute blinder. I don't think I've ever, well, I've never fished a lake with fish like this in it, to be honest, but yeah, my first proper Austrian carp is this lovely koi. Good move and effort equals reward, as they say.
Sounded like it.
Hey! The pressure is on,
yeah.
the party is on.
Do you want me to talk to that thing and say that I'm not really one for ornamentals usually, but this one's such a banger, I thought I'd have a photo. Fish is a fish. Disco carp.
Max is in love.
Disco Steve.
Cool. Some extra weights on these. That's a quick bite. How's your luck?
Because my main aim of attending this social was, of course, to put together this film, I didn't actually spend a huge amount of time in my swim, you know, sat in my bivvy watching the water or actually angling for myself really. The time in the swim was limited, mostly to late evenings and nights. So because of that, I chose not to go out in the boats really at all. I didn't actually fish from the boat at all. What I mostly just focused on was fishing chod rigs and stiff hinge rigs, bright, visual 15mm citrus pop-ups, and I simply cast them at showing fish. I'd get back from filming late of an evening, maybe listen out for the fish for a couple of hours, and if I heard them or I saw where the fish were, even if it was slightly out of my water and into Les's swim, I'd just whack a single hook bait down there, and it did pay off. I did end up catching a few. I wouldn't say I tore the lake apart. I certainly didn't catch considerably good numbers of fish compared to the other lads, but just casting to showing fish definitely paid off on more than one occasion. More important than that though, if you know me well, I absolutely love multi-species fishing, and the lake which we were on, R1, happened to have some bass and, as I found out a bit later on in the trip, some zander, so I managed to get a bit of action from them in as well.
Holiday carp fishing. Great predator fishing. Yay! My first zander ever. He's a better one, man. Yeah. Isn't he?
There we go.
Whoa! Boom, shot.
A big part of my session, and the reason that I was managing to locate fish and locate areas, was the use of an underwater camera. Marco very kindly lent me his camera. It allows you to drift around the lake, lowering a cable down onto the bottom with a small camera on. On the boat itself there's a small TV that's relaying the footage back onto that, and it was a game changer for me. It truly opened my eyes. I could drift over silty areas that looked completely barren and then find depressions in the silt where the carp had been feeding. Along with that I could find coloured water, and if I was truly lucky, carp. It was a massive eye-opener for me. I decided to rest the swim, pull off the lake for a little while and go and visit David, Harry and Claudia's son, to find out a little bit more about the lakes and the special fish that reside in them. So I just popped in the shop, David, get some leisure batteries charged and grab a few supplies. You know, you're not short of some stuff. I know we've been in every day. Bit of sweet corn, can we have some more hemp? Yeah. But yeah, while I'm here, mate, a bit of an insight from you about the lakes. And was it always a dream for Harry to own a lake or have a lake?
Yes, it was always his dream, and he started with his dream on the old Styrian lake, you know.
Of course, I fished this lake, amazing lake.
But his main target was to get a lake on a whole new level, with nothing inside that he can control. Anything.
Blank canvas.
Yes. Wow. And so he's done a really good job there.
It's, I have to say, in 12 years, amazing. All the way around, it's beautiful with trees, it's very, very mature. And the water itself, you look into it and there's just weed and so many small bugs and insects, and it's incredible. How do the lakes operate, David? Obviously, we've booked them exclusively for this trip for the social, but normally how do you operate them? Is it a syndicate or a day ticket? Or?
Yeah, they're all day ticket.
Busy?
Yeah, really busy.
I can imagine. If it was in England, you would never be able to fish this place, because everybody would want to come there and catch carp.
Busiest one for sure is the R2, because they are the biggest carp inside.
Just to be sure on this, because I've heard some different... What is the biggest possible fish in R2, David?
At the moment, it's hard to say, but we believe...
What do you think?
I think that we have at the moment the Austrian record inside. Because this carp gets caught, I think, every 1.5 years to every 2 years, and he goes up every time he comes out about 4 to 5 kilos.
Bigger
every time. And the last time is now 1.5 years gone, and last time he was nearly 39 kilos. So for sure it should be a 40 plus for the moment. And this is huge,
Incredible. Wow, you've got me even more excited. I want to get back and put my rods out, David. Thank you, man. It's been an amazing trip.
Have a nice time.
Yeah, it's not quite over yet. Maybe we'll catch some more big ones.
I think so.
Thank you, bruv. Big ups.
No problem.
See you later, man. Thank you. Finding the fish was one thing, but just as much care and consideration had to be given to the rig and bait choice in order to trip up some of these wary R2 carp. I spent the first few days experimenting with everything from stiff hinge rigs, choddies, blowout tube rigs and even zigs before I eventually settled on the following setup. I just had to take note of Mike's success. and whilst in his swim clocked the slip D rig on his bivvy table, I decided to incorporate the slip D rig with a really long hair and 2 quite small tigers positioned along its length with a large gap between the 2 baits. I hoped that when the fish approached the rig they would feel safe seeing 2 separate tigers laying on the bottom. At the same time, the long hair eliminated the possibility of any nuisance species picking up the rig. As always, I stuck with the incredible abrasion resistant armour link in 35 pounds and a size 5 Fang X hook, with the hair fixed in place on the blowback element of the rig with a micro hook ring swivel. The lead setup was kept as unobtrusive as possible due to the gin clear water. I fished it with a 0.40 fluorocarbon mainline straight to the lead with a 6-ounce drop-off inline, secured in place with a double ring swivel and tail rubber. My bait concoction was made with plenty of hemp seed to ensure that there was always particles of food in the swim because of the nuisance crayfish, along with a good helping of whole and flaked candy nut crush boilies, sweet corn and tiger nut slush, with the intention being to confuse the carp and stop them avoiding and focusing on the hook bait too much. Well, just going to go and reposition my rod, or both rods actually. Just reeled the other rod in. What a surprise, they've eaten my tiger nuts. So you can see down there on the floor, that's the little monitor. Camera drops down the water like this, and I'm just moving around with the boat, trying to identify those perfect feeding zones. It was towards the end of day 5 when things really changed for me. The weather changed dramatically, the sun came out, the wind disappeared, I could get out on the water and fish properly. Things were about to really start kicking off. What are you saying?
$47.12.
Well, that's the second one I've landed now, off an area probably twice as big as the air cradle. It's not a small lake, there's a lot of water out there, a lot of places to position a rig, but boy do you have to go tight. Yeah, 4 bites, same spot, second fish landed, proper buzzing. I'm sure if I get my act together and get the rods out again, it'll do me another bite today. Strange bite time, middle of the day, nothing through the night. Yeah, mad, happy.
Buzzing, bro.
Exhausted. This place is absolutely ridiculous. It's nearly beat me up, man. 3 or 4 days of blanking. 3 or 4 days of working it out. 3 or 4 days of trying to suss it, put the pieces together. And basically I've done just that. I've got another
chunk in the net. Mega battle, got no battery on the boat, the wind's dragging me everywhere, the fish don't want to give up, it's deep, there's rocks. I've done it, stuck it in the net, and yeah, the light's fading, I've only got one rod left on the spot now. I'd really like to get the other two back out again, so...
Do you want a lift?
Please can I have a lift back to base camp?
At over 62 pounds, this thing broke my personal best and was an absolute beast. The fight was incredible and I was simply blown away by this carp. This is why I'd come all the way to Austria to catch a fish of epic proportions.
Piffington, bro.
Poultry.
Be nice on the other side too?
What an afternoon. What? Swing it round?
Yeah, swing around, man.
This afternoon, well, since about 2 o'clock, has been nothing short of remarkable. It's getting dark. I've got, I think, one rod out. But yeah, I'm buzzing. What a place. What a social.
Out of 10.
Alright, so it's Sunday morning. Got my old brew kit on. Tea. Want like a nice drop of tea. Radio. Let's have a look at the lake.
By this point in the trip, we'd had loads of bites and we decided to sort of rate each other out of 10 on our releases, which was good fun. We rated each other on elegance, splash and creativity. Well then, mate.
6 release.
4 out of 10,
4, bruv, yeah.
4 out of 10.
What do I get for that release?
9.5.
9.5, good score.
The points are slowly dropping. 2 out of 10.
Oh!
Yeah. What was your rating, Ollie?
I'm going to give that an 8.5. That was pretty good.
It was splashy, but it was controlled.
Yeah, we like it.
I was going to give it the old push.
Having worked ridiculously hard, I sat back and was somewhat content with how my session had eventually panned out. It hadn't been easy, but it was very, very rewarding, and that was made even better when on the 6th morning, I was rewarded by a beautiful 40-pound common.
Drag that thing out.
So yeah, towards the end of the week, we'd probably had easily well over 50 bites between us, and we started to see fish that we'd already seen on the bank that week, and I think in total we had 4 repeat captures, and it actually turns out I think we had well over half the lake stock in a week. So yeah, absolutely incredible session and certainly one to remember. So it's gone a bit mad again. To be fair, I think last time I spoke to her I'd had a bite, Howard just had a bite, we was waiting for Tommy to get a bite. I had another bite. And then I've now just had another bite. And I've got a real big common in the net.
Could be a PB, man.
Could be a PB, potentially could be a PB.
Told ya?
Yeah.
Big one, man.
Yeah, man.
I caught him.
What? How big is it?
I'm telling you. You're not allowed to lose. 53.2.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. There it is. Oh boy.
Yeah, say something to the camera, Mike.
Oh,
On this one.
I don't know what to say. Hang on. Can I do it in the water?
Oh no!
First one I lost, man. Come on.
I'll give him one of my rigs in a little bit.
Yeah, so this is our new spod station. There's two varieties, one that takes a single bucket, one that takes a double bucket. But it also doubles up as the perfect on the bank bathroom. Fresh as a daisy.
Second bite of the morning. I was really confident last night that it was going to happen, and it didn't for some reason. But I see a couple bosh this morning, so I reeled a couple of the rods in and cast singles out to where they were boshing, and had 2 bites in the space of an hour.
I was about to go down the ledge then, Bob. I was about to go down the ledge. For the third time this trip, I've beat my PB again. 54.8 this one went, so just by over £1 on the last common. What a session.
Oh, what a lovely carp.
Seeing the whole team out of the office, buzzing, fishing, loads of banter, amazing countryside, beautiful carp, an incredible fishery, really made for an epic week. However, R2 had one more surprise for me, a surprise that would see me being dragged all over the lake.
Yeah, you're away.
Boat. It was a truly epic fight. Deep water, big fish, loads of big lunges. It dragged me here, there and everywhere, and couple that with the fact that the boys were out in another boat with me just made it so super exciting.
Really strange. He knows all the rocks are here and won't swim away from them. He just keeps swimming around the rocks, the same big rock. Massive common, enormous, huge. Net extended.
When that big common eventually hit the surface, and as much as I was leaning and stretching, all I could see was this immense fish on the surface with my double tiger nut ring just hanging out of his mouth, just praying, please, please, please go over the net cord. That feeling when it did, that's why I go fishing, such a buzz.
It's an absolute monster. Yeah, I'm shaking.
How big's that one, Al? Massive.
Ridiculous. I didn't have the scope net extended, so I've like put my leg in the scope net, twisted the handle, and all the time this common was just there, ready for netting.
I don't think any picture was going to do that justice then. I thought I'd had a instant contact. Instant.
Catching that common of epic proportions was a truly remarkable moment for me. However, seeing Harry's face when I caught it, was probably even more special. I genuinely mean that. Harry visited England 12-15 years ago to fish Kevin's Lake, and he had 100% returned the favour by allowing us to visit his gravel pits and catch some of his mega carp.
30 kilos!
Nah, 31 kilo.
Just under 31 kilo, bro. That's a chunk.
That way.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, 31 kilos, 68 pounds. Incredible boat battle, incredible venue, man, to be fishing for fish like this.
For me, that trip ended on that incredible 68 pounder, as Kev and I's plane was booked to leave early the following morning, and I really needed to begin packing everything away. However, the next day brought yet more epic moments, PBs and proper laughs for the rest of the lads.
Fishing! Oh, what a release. Get in there!
To summarise, this trip to Austria wasn't just a great time because we all caught loads of carp and spent time doing what we love doing, which is fishing, but it was also a really worthwhile trip because of the time we spent together, you know, team building, getting to know each other better, becoming better friends, and I think we'll probably work together better in the future because of this trip. At least that's what I'm going to tell Kev when we ask him if we can book up another trip for next year.
Hey. And yeah, huge thank you to Claudia, Harry, David, Marco, Hansi, all the boys from the Carp Centre for allowing us to come fish this incredible complex of gravel pits.
At that moment in time, all that mattered was getting that immense carp released and getting that rod straight back out on that spot. Because, as every true angler knows, there's always time for one last cast.
All of the time.
So, social 2, the big one, or the big 2.